I am going to do a follow-up on my main channel video of the migrant caravan because it needs to be talked about. We have this story. It is shocking that I have to explain this. DHS secretary dispels myths about the migrant caravan. And I want to start by saying a few things. Obviously, this won't convince anybody who doesn't already believe nonsense about the migrant caravan. So it is what it is. Just because people choose not to believe things doesn't mean I won't report on them. I also want to point out, you shouldn't just believe Homeland Security, right? Just because the government says it doesn't make it true. And I'm particularly frustrated by people in media who decide when the government is or isn't lying. You can have someone from Homeland Security say something that contradicts Trump, and they'll say, oh, wow, that proves it, contradicting Trump. Then you have someone agreeing with Trump, and they'll say, no, this is a lie. DHS it's a conspiracy. She's under the thumb of Trump. No. You either trust them or you don't, okay? I think you shouldn't trust the government just willy-nilly. Give me reason to trust you. In this regard, corroborating reporting from other news outlets has corroborated the statements of DHS, so I will say that DHS plus other reporting equals likely to be true. Just because someone reports it from a media organization doesn't make it factually true, and just because DHS says it doesn't make it factually true, but together, we take all these little bits of evidence and say, this is likely the case. So let's break some stuff down. The migrant caravan, the left-leaning media, has been gushing over finally reached the U.S.-Mexico border on Sunday, and things got violent. Migrants threw rocks and projectiles at Border Patrol, and one San Diego agent said the group, which is made up of mostly men, used women and children as human shields. Naturally, leftist media outlets tried to downplay the violence and turn it against President Donald Trump, lambasting the use of tear gas against the caravan, even though the Obama administration did the same thing. A lot, by the way. Apparently there's a story out now that the Obama administration was tear gassing migrants like every month. Yeah, seriously. On Monday, DHS Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen released a statement in an attempt to explain what the migrant caravan actually is and dispel some myths being reported by the media. Nielsen laid out 6 points relating to the caravan, its makeup, and its purpose, adding additional points about how the Trump administration is responding. I also want to take the time to point out, while some media reporting is misleading, the entirety of media is actually not doing a bad job necessarily. MSNBC coming out and agreeing with some of what DHS is saying. So it would be unfair to criticize the whole of the media. We can actually look at this right now and say it corroborates it. So first, the caravan is violent. Nielsen called the violence seen on Sunday entirely predictable and said it had been attacking border police in Mexico and other Central American countries. That is true. Reuters reported this a month ago. I covered this. They stormed the border of Mexico, throwing rocks. They had Molotov cocktails. A Mexican interior minister said they were armed. I refuse to believe that anyone honestly maintains that attacking law enforcement with rocks and projectiles is acceptable. It is shocking that I have to explain this, but officers can be seriously or fatally injured in such attacks. Self-defense isn't debatable for most law-abiding Americans, Nielsen wrote. Now, the caravan is violent. This is hyperbolic. There is a portion of the caravan that is violent, 100%. They stormed the border. They attacked Border Patrol. But many people in the caravan, more than a couple thousand, have applied for asylum and are not rushing the border. Many are in Tijuana waiting, legally, doing the right thing and applying. These are the good people who are respecting the process and by doing so, making it better for asylum seekers, period. The system has to be maintained. There's a process. It takes a long time, but it's rough. Beggars can't be choosers, right? I'm not trying to diminish the true violence the asylum seekers are fleeing. But if you made your way through Mexico, okay, Mexico offered you asylum and you applied for it, that is a real, honest, good person who is doing right by the system because they are truly seeking aid. If you are not, and you are an economic migrant, and Tijuana said, we're going to give you a job fair, and you said, thank you, and you take the offer, another person who is accepting responsibility and saying, I'm going to do better, thank you for the opportunity. There are many people who are waiting patiently and playing by the rules and trying to abide by the law. And I think these people actually deserve to be expedited through because they're doing the right thing. The people who stormed the border should be immediately removed and deported because, as we learned from MSNBC, mostly men, okay, not women and children, though some women and children are there, they're economic migrants who are trying to break the law, and many of them are attacking Border Patrol. These are criminals, okay? It's a tough situation. But I have nothing but respect for those who have made it to the border and have said, let me just do it as you see fit. When Trump said apply at the border, and these people said, absolutely, thank you. That is wondrous. That is wonderful. These are good people. The people storming the border, these are the bad people. The caravan is large and organized. Nielsen said the current caravan is far larger and more organized than previous ones, with upwards of 8,500 members currently in Tijuana and Mexicali. She also noted reports of other caravans also making their way to the border. Yes. Now, the caravan there is organized, the first caravan, and there are many smaller caravans that are organizing behind it. So I believe it's fair to say it is large, it is organized, and now we're seeing they're expecting 10,000 people. Look, you can't just open the border and say everyone come, because they will. And that'll be very bad for the economy as a whole. It's a ridiculous debate the left has where they claim migrants are a net benefit for the economy. Yes, legal immigrants. Okay, when you can't account for for migrants who are coming in and they go anywhere, they do displace the working class. I can't believe I have to explain this. Caravan members are largely not eligible for asylum. This is true. The media has been claiming the caravan is full of abused women and children fleeing violence and seeking asylum, despite an actual asylum-seeking process already existing. As Nielsen notes, this isn't accurate. Historically, less than 10% of those who claim asylum from Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador are found eligible by a federal judge. 90% are not eligible. Nielsen said most of the migrants are seeking jobs or looking to reunite with family in the U.S., which are not grounds for asylum and have their own legal process to follow. Also, these migrants have refused to seek protection in Mexico or with the United Nations Refugee Agency. This is true. You cannot claim they're asylum seekers if they have turned it down every step of the way, and if the good people seeking asylum are waiting their turn. Okay? There are people in harsh conditions in Mexico who said, just tell me what I need to do, I need asylum. And we said, here's how we can do it to the best of our abilities. The people rushing the border said, we don't care about your process, we don't care about asylum, we don't care about job offers, we want to come to the US, and we will throw rocks and stones and rush your border to do so. That is not a good person, that is not asylum seeking, okay? Mexico is taking care of, to the best of their ability, these people. They are safe as it pertains to the violence from their home countries, and they are being given opportunity. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying this is where they need to stay. No, by all means, we need to help them. Mexico needs to help them as well. We need to figure something out. But I would absolutely contest those claiming the people storming the border are asylum seekers, because you besmirch the good name of the people who said, just tell me what I need to do and I will do it. They followed the rules, and they are waiting in Mexico honorably. And those are the people that I think deserve our respect, okay? They need help. We are doing the best of our abilities to get them help. And we knew they were going to be exploiters. There are going to be people who come to this caravan pretending like they're asylum seekers, or in all reality, they're admitting they're not. And they were going to exploit this. They were going to exploit those who truly needed help so they could rush the border and try and enter the U.S. illegally because they want jobs. That's not how it works, and it is unfair to those who come here legally, who fight very hard to become U.S. citizens and become residents, and it's unfair to those who are actually asking for help who truly need it. Caravan members are largely male. Despite media reports of women and children seeking asylum, the caravan is made up of mostly men. Now, this is really funny. Daily Wire, I'm going to call you out for this kind of contradiction. It's not really, but look. When an MSNBC anchor tried to tee up a reporter to confirm the caravan was full of women and children, the reporter admitted it was mostly made up of men. When even MSNBC says, no, look, it's mostly dudes. When CNN runs segments where they ask the border agents, what is this? They say it's mostly dudes. I wouldn't say, it is fair to say that there are media reports saying it's women and children seeking asylum. For sure, I've criticized them, right? But let's also point out that you seriously, look, when you get MSNBC to say, look, it's undeniable, then it's fair to say you've got most of the media, even left-wing media, on your side. Ignore the activists and the lies, because CNN, MSNBC, Fox News are basically confirming this to be true at this point. So the big media companies, mainstream media, is basically saying, no, it's mostly dudes here. Yes, there are criminals among the caravan members. Nielsen said the backgrounds of the caravan members could not be confirmed, which poses a risk to U.S. safety. She also says that DHS has confirmed the presence of criminals. Yes, she also said 100 caravan members have been arrested in Mexico for crimes in that country. This is a fact. Man, I can't believe I have to argue this with people. It's ridiculous. No one was killed or injured during the violence on Sunday. Yes. Now, 42 people, I believe, actually made it into the U.S. and were arrested and will not, I think they're going to be deported now. So the people who are waiting in Tijuana might actually end up getting in, some of them, and the people who rushed the border, they didn't work. Nielsen praised Border Patrol agents for their response to the violence on Sunday. It is a testament to their training and professionalism that no one was injured. The accepted use of non-lethal force, also used by Obama numerous times, like every month apparently, prevented further injury to agents and a mass illegal rush across the border. We will not shy away from protecting our people, Nielsen wrote. She added that parents should not put children in danger by trying to illegally cross into the U.S. Keep in mind that this is the administration's talking points, but reports from on the ground and government agencies contradict the picture painted by the left-leaning media, and this is mostly activist media, because as I mentioned, even they've said MSNBC is being honest about this. And for those concerned with accepting administration's claims, just remember how uncritically the media accepted everything the Obama administration said, and that is absolutely fair in my opinion. Where was everybody criticizing Obama for doing the same thing? They existed, okay? Jorge Ramos, to his credit, he's talked about this. He said Obama was the deporter-in-chief. That's what they called him. Obama was very strict on the border, but for some reason the media only cares now that Trump is in power. Or I should say in power, in office, but yeah, in power, sure. I think it's silly that the left is basically abandoning border security. You will lose. Michael Avenatti, one of the few people coming out and saying, Dems, you got to call this out. This cannot be the way we do things. And he's right. He's right. My God. It's really frustrating for me because it's becoming an issue where the left, the mainstream left, silent. 100% silent. They're not talking about it. Where are they at? Where are the Democrats coming out and saying we got to secure our borders? Oh, they're not. They're not, because the activist left is controlling the narrative, and they want open borders, and that will never fly. Anyway, stick around. I got another video coming up in just a few minutes. I always have more videos. Look, at this point, I should probably just stop saying it. Just click the username, and there's like 3 videos every single day, so you've probably not seen them all. I'll see you in a few. I'll see you on the next video.